using this guy. So this is an attachment, and this, we can't call him Grinch. Well, I can, because this is not a wreath that I can resell, because Grinch is a licensed product. They are licensed to whoever made the ribbon, but they are not licensed for me to resell it. Therefore, this is a personal use one, but I thought I can show you at least what you can make with supplies that you could get from places like TMI Gifts, Craft Outlet. I think White Bayou also has some of these as well. But this is the butt. Who doesn't love a good fluffy butt, right? So this is his butt attachment, and it's got a hook on the front, which we're going to use to hook through the wreath. I'm going to show you the wreath that we'll be using in a minute, but this is Grinch Free Zone. I got this last year from Hobby Lobby. Oops, let me trim some of this off here. Now this had a rope on the back. Just inhaled that. This had a rope on the back. I trimmed it off because I need to attach it very securely. So I stapled pipe cleaners right in there because this is pretty thick. Now this was Hobby Lobby last year for $9.99. I'm sure I got it less than that, because I will not pay full price for anything there unless it's an extreme exception. So we have that sign to use. We've got the ribbon I showed you. What we're going to be putting it on is, I wanted something really sturdy. So this is, how many inches is this? This is an 18-inch evergreen wreath. So this is your standard kind of Christmas wreath. You can see on the back, it's got 2 rings. So it's got a bottom one and then a raised one about 2.5 inches or 2 inches above it. This is very sturdy. So once I put the mesh and stuff in here, it's going to be very full. I may squish this into more of an oval shape because I've got his legs. Kind of want to maybe take it down a little bit. So we might do that. But that is our base. And what we're going to put in here to fluff it up is, I have pre-cut mesh. So this is 10-inch mesh. I cut the whole roll, 20-inch pieces of 10-inch mesh. I have 2 different patterns I'm putting in here. One is a red with a lime green and a bit of a dark green stripe through the center of it. I don't know exactly how many pieces I have, but it's probably like maybe, I don't know, 17, 18 pieces. And then this, which I believe came from Hobby Lobby. And this is a really nice, this is one of my favorite meshes. It's just a window pane mesh, but it adds a lot of pops of color. I like that it's got lime green and it's got dark green. So these are the 2 types of mesh that we're going to be adding into this wreath in order to build up our base. And if you guys have any questions as we're going through this, let me know. I do have my tablet over on the side that I am trying to see if anybody's got any questions. Oops, sorry, I found something sticky on my scissors. There we go. I will try to answer any questions that you might have as we go. Virginia, thanks for... If anybody's got any questions... Oops, sorry, I found something sticky on my scissors. There we go. I will try to answer any questions that you might have as we go. Virginia, thanks for joining. Alrighty. See how it naturally wants to curl? All you have to do is go into the wreath and find a good spot between 2 tines. So this is, I guess you call it an evergreen wreath. I'm going to find a good spot between 2 tines where I can just put this right in there and twist it. So I'm going to put it right in here. And I'm going to take the 2 tines and I'm just going to twist it just like that. Boom and boom. You twist it and it stays right in there. And we're going to go do that on the outside and then some on the inside. We're going to stagger it so that they're not like 2 pieces and 2 pieces. We're going to have a piece there, a piece there, a piece there, and 1 there. Does that make sense? I don't use pipe cleaners on this method. I use these right here, act as our pipe cleaners, because you can twist these, you can bend them. That's why these are perfect to use. These are great. You can use these year round. I've used these for Easter, 4th of July, because by the time you get the mesh and everything else in these things, you can't see the evergreen anymore, but it's a very sturdy base. And you can get these on sale, really good deals at like Michael's, Walmart. After Christmas season, I go crazy. I think I even found some like in April at Michael's for like 99 cents. Now that was single ring instead of the double, but still, I've really switched to trying to use these evergreen ones. It makes a big difference. And a work wreath it's a lot more expensive sometimes. If you can get this on a good deal, like $2.99 or less on sale, that's cheaper than a work form, and it holds up really well. This wreath, I don't know where this one came from. Hold on, let me see. I lost my tag. Oh, this was $7.99. This one came from Michael's, but I'm sure I probably got it for at least 50% off, if not 75 to 80%. Shopping right before Christmas or right after Christmas or going into January, a lot of times they don't get their stuff. They might get stuff after the season's over, and they basically just try to get rid of it. And that's a savings for us. All right, so I've got my curled edges, and I'm going to ruffle this up the center. And I'm going to go put this time I'm going to go in the inside ring. I'm going to go in kind of just after the one, so I'm kind of staggering it a little bit, okay? So now I've got a solid red here. I'm going to put a window pane one here. It doesn't really matter, honestly, if you don't stagger it, or if you miss a piece or whatever. No one's, what is that meme that goes around? They're not going to know. They're going to know. They're not going to know. Nobody's going to know. It doesn't matter. So again, I'm just putting it right between the two tines we have in here, poking it in, and then I'm bending the tines around it to act like the pipe cleaners, and boom. And this is just 3 pieces of mesh, and look at it's already filling up pretty well. So here we go. We get some more out. Here we're going to go solid red this time. Let me move my glue gun out of the way. My trusty steed, my glue gun. Sometimes my friend, sometimes my arch nemesis, as I tend to burn myself. Okay, here we go. This next cruffle I'm going to put right next to the other window pane one. And these don't have to be right on top of each other. You can space them out. Sometimes too, it all depends on where these tines are in here as to where you want to put them next. There we go. I like to put my mesh in a bin like this because I'll cut them and then they fly off the other side of the table, and then I have to keep walking over there to pick stuff up, and that becomes dangerously close to like exercise, and I don't do that. So that's why we're just gonna stick with keeping it all in there. Little tricks that keep me from getting too upset or aggravated when I'm making a wreath. Okay, now I'm going to go in the inside. You could go and do all the outside first and then come back and do the inside. I just figure, since I'm here, I'll kind of just do both. Alrighty. Take a look at where my tines are. Alright. I cut this mesh, I cut it 20 inches, and this is 10-inch wide mesh. I cut them at 20 inches a piece, and I think it was a 30-foot roll, so I can't do math in my head. Do the math. Figure out for me how many that was per roll. Let me see. This one's got kind of a nice, it's a wide gap there between this one, so here, I'm gonna go right in between. Sometimes you gotta kind of hunt for the right place to put it. But we're gonna have ribbons and stuff on this, so you don't have to be worried too much about, oh, there's a little gap. You can always go back, put a piece in later on. It's not that big a deal. And yes, this is 10-inch mesh. Now I have tried using, I think Michael's has some 12-inch wide mesh. I'm not a fan. That makes it a little bit too wide, a little bit too loopy. But I think that's like the value mesh sometimes is 12-inch, but most of the mesh that I've been getting from there is like the holiday specialty mesh. That's typically 10 inches. Alrighty, moving along. Oh, just having daydreams of the chicken and pasta I'm gonna have for dinner after this. Not so much that, but the bread. I cannot eat pasta without bread. This could be why I'm diabetic, just saying. Yeah. All right, here we go. So we got about a quarter of it done. We're going to keep going around. So tell me, you guys that are all watching, I would love to know, are you guys wreath makers? Do you just like to watch people make crafts? Just want to get to know who's watching, and if you guys have any questions about me, let me know. I am with, well, my company is Sweet Aria Decor. My name is Linda. Aria is my daughter, so I named the business after her back in 2016 when she was 3, when she was sweet. She's kind of cranky these days, guys. She's like 10. She's really cranky, like, oh my gosh. So cranky Aria Decor does not have the same kind of, you know, fun connotation. So we're going to leave the business called Sweet Aria Decor, but yeah. I don't know. It's preteen stuff. I've been through it before. This is not my first rodeo. I've got much older kids. I have 3 stepchildren between the ages of 24 and 30, and I have a almost 24-year-old and a 26-year-old who got married. So this little one was a surprise. Little Miss Sweet Aria was a surprise. Girls are tough, right? It's, oh my gosh. And she goes to a special school. She's got some, she's on the spectrum. She's got some behavioral issues. She's also got some anger. We lost her dad about almost 3 years ago. And she's just now starting to process a lot of those feelings about his passing. And it has been rough, friends, let me tell you. Worst thing in the world you can see for your kid, I mean, aside from, you know, hopefully if your child is healthy, is to see them lose a parent and struggle with that, because that is one thing that you cannot fix for your child, and it's hard, but trying to show her resiliency, and just because bad things happen does not mean they're going to happen again, does not mean that it ruins your life. You can still go have a happy life. You can enjoy your life and not feel guilty about enjoying your life, even though sometimes it's really sad and really hard. So that's kind of where we're at. So I think she's got some anger issues she's working on. Plus, like, puberty. Like, oh my gosh. I am not ready for that. Like, we watched Turning Red. We watched Are You There, God, It's Me, Margaret. Which, you know, of course, being a child born in the 70s, of course, I read the books. But, it just, I don't know. I didn't feel like it was this difficult with my oldest daughter. Now it just feels like it's harder. I don't know. I don't actually have any ties in here. These are actually, I'm just putting them directly, wrapping them directly in these evergreen, the branches on the evergreen wreath. So it's basically it's like a work wreath, but a really fluffy work wreath. And again, I like them because I can get them on sale, but they are also incredibly sturdy. So if I put in attachments like this one, the Grinch butt, he's not really super heavy, but he's large and he's bulky, and he's going to have something good to grip onto. So that is why I like using these for that. Anything that's got a lot of stuff. I can put it in a work wreath, you know, the metal wreath that has the pre-made little tinsel tines already in there, you know, but I just prefer these. I don't know, it just works better. It holds it in better, gives it something sturdier to hold on to. And these I can bend into a shape more too, so I can like push down on it, and instead of being round, I can push it into an oval shape. Which is going to be good for his legs, because, let me show you, these are his legs, guys. For those of us who joined recently, these are his legs we're going to be putting in there. And you notice how it's kind of elongated. So if I make this into an oval shape, I think it's gonna be better for his legs. It's going to follow more the natural shape, and it's not going to have his feet jutting out anywhere. It's not going to look weird. All right, moving it around. Here we go. And this is the most time-consuming part. This is not the most fun part to watch when somebody's putting mesh in a wreath, but it is a good time to talk and learn and ask questions. And I do this as my full-time job. Well, I'm trying to make it I do it full-time right now. Still trying to get the income up there, but I do some consulting work as well for mail order pharmacy. So that does help as well. Oh, here we go. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, but this is crazy season. This is fourth quarter. This is Christmas. It's kind of like our Super Bowl, right? We've worked all year for this. Don't let ourselves down now. Got a lot of stuff to make. I am in 4 shows between the end of October and the end of November. Basically every weekend except for, I think, the second weekend of November. So I have to have all my stuff done pretty much ahead of time because I don't have time to make a lot. I mean, I can make some stuff during the week, but I can't like replenish my entire inventory. So I've got to have a lot of stuff made, both for that and yes, I do cut my mesh 20 inches long. So yeah, this is 20-inch cut. Why don't you roll both ends to meet in the middle? Because then it makes it a little too rolly. Let me do that. So if I keep rolling it in, then it ends up just like a tube, and that doesn't give me this wavy, it doesn't give me a lot of the volume up there on top of there. So that's why if I just roll the ends in, because that's the curl method. This is the cruffle method, where you basically curl in the ends but then make a ruffle. And you see how you got more volume there? It fills it out more. There we go. But I've got 4 shows coming up, and I also make tomato cage trees. That is primarily what I sell at craft shows. I mean, I sell wreaths and other things and bows and whatnot there. But those are the things that sell best for me, and each one takes me about 3 hours to make. Right now I have 20 of them made, and I need to have at least probably another 20 to 30 done. So it's a busy time. I make them in front of the TV at night when I'm sitting there watching stuff with my daughter. It works. All right, coming up to the last part of it. Here we go. Seed Lover 25. Carol, is that you? Is that you, Carol? I don't know whoever that was, if they were asking where I do the craft shows. I am outside of Chicago. I am in the western suburbs. Basically kind of like the last of the suburbs before you start hitting cornfield. Well, it used to be. Now you just hit more housing developments. But so that's where I'm located. So I do a show at Plainfield High School. I do Christmas Crossroads in Lockport. I do a holiday happening at College of DuPage. And then Marmion Academy, it's a boys' school, boys' high school. They have a show that I've done before. I was supposed to do it last year, and I ended up getting really sick, and I could not go. I was sick, my dad was sick, and he's the one that helps me. So, man, I felt really bad and really guilty about, I never had to call out of a show before, but I was really glad I did, because, like, it was like I heard angels and harps, man. I was really sick. It was awful. But I did the right thing because, you know, yeah, it's a lot of work to do, especially, you know, when you're not sick. But most importantly, I don't want to spread my germs. Last thing I want to do is ruin someone else's holiday because I decided to go out in public and spread my snotty love. So everything happens for a reason. Well, except for like death. That I don't believe in, but you know. But everything else, the little stuff. So I didn't sweat it too much. Wanda, I basically cut up. This is an 18-inch wreath. I cut up the whole roll. I used 2 rolls of 10 yards, so 2 rolls of 30-foot long mesh. And that's typically, I will use the whole thing because I can also go back and if I got extra left, I can fill in some holes. I can add some more where I think I need it. So that's why this method is nice because it doesn't have to be super precise. You just kind of go in and be like, oh yeah, I need to fill in a hole here, and stick it in there. That's why I like it. And then if I do have anything left, I save it and I just put it aside, because then you can always use it in another wreath. Especially like if I've got, you know, a couple pieces of this left and a couple pieces of that left. Well, you know, you can put it all together and again do cruffles inside a wreath. If you've got 12 pieces left, you can use that for a pancake wreath. There's lots of ways to use it. But I mean, if I know I'm not going to use it, I don't like to cut it, because Lordy, y'all know how this snags. This stuff snags everything. That's why you never see me wearing nice clothes when I'm making wreaths. Because A, I'm chubby and I don't like anything clinging. So I basically live in yoga pants. And I also don't want to ruin my shirts. So I kind of just let it be what it's going to be. And if I snag my shirt, oh well, it happens. Let's see what other questions. Lockport, best craft shebang. You know what? Yeah. Margie loves Lewis. I use mesh on my tomato cages. So if you go to sweetariadecor.com, that's going to redirect you to my Etsy site. I have instructions there on how to make tomato cage trees. I've got a written PDF. It's very detailed. I used to be a technical writer, so I've got step-by-steps. I got diagrams, you name it. So I have that, and I also have video as well on how to make those trees. They sell really well. Now, I've only shipped one once because the shipping cost on those is insane. They charge, you know, because it's based on dimensional weight, which is, you know, length times width times height times whatever divisor they use. But they charge extra because it's a large package. So typically don't ship those, which is a pain. I even called UPS and tried to work with them on that. And unless I decided to ship like a couple hundred, no. Then it wasn't really going to work for me. So I even tried, and that was in pirate ship. I think I was able to get it down to $85, but I'd have to cut down the top of the box. It's a deterrent, let me tell you. It's a big deterrent. Let me see what. Oh, let me go back. Hold on a second. Hold on. Uh-oh, I lost myself. Hold on, guys. Hold on. I gotta go back. Sorry. There, I found myself again. Sorry. All right, I am going to show you guys now. So this is, let me pull it back. You can see this is the wreath. So we are measuring right now. This makes it 24 inches. So you can take an 18-inch wreath form, put in the mesh, and you'll get a wreath that is 2 feet wide. And I would say it is probably 6 to 7 inches. Maybe some places are 8 inches tall. So now we have this guy. What I want to do is squish him down. So I'm going to push down on this. So right now it's round. We're going to push him down. And we're going to make it an oval. It doesn't have to be like a super big oval, but it's more oval shape now. Can you see that? Yep. And then we can start adding his butt in. Yeah, this is going to be much better for his butt. So, I'm going to put the butt in now. And then around the top layer of the wreath. I'm going to make sure it doesn't get caught in the mesh. It's going to kind of get, this wire's going to go right down. You're not even going to see it. It's going to get buried in the mesh. This wire's going to go right down. You're not even going to see it. It's going to get buried in the mesh. All right, flip it over. Now is where I get the fun part, is trying to bend this. Okay, so I've bent it around. I kind of just keep bending it around until it just kind of stops. So he's in there on the top, but on the bottom he's not. like see his legs are like wee hey dun 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 dun. Yeah. Okay. I'm tired. I'm hungry. So what I'm gonna do now is I've got his butt up there, but I'm gonna run some floral wire kind of right through the cloth, and then I can kind of wire his legs so that they don't slide through. I try not to use glue in my wreaths if I can avoid it, just because, you know, the reliability of glue sometimes is not the best, based on temperature. Oh boy, this is probably overkill, but I probably think I've got about, what, 2.5 feet of wire here. But I'm going to kind of go right between his legs. Oh, he's not going to like me. Dude, this is going to hurt. It's going to hurt me more than it'll hurt you. That's a lie. It goes very easily right through the fabric because it's sharp wire, and this is pretty porous fabric, so it just goes right on through, and boom. I've got my wire here, and I'm just going to take one end and just kind of bring it on in through the wreath, and I can literally just wrap it around. Where did it go? Here we go. I mean, this is not meant to like hold like a 50-pounder thing. It's just meant to kind of keep his legs in place so that they don't come flopping up. All right. All right, now this one's going to come through here. Find the natural divide. There we go. I don't want to have to put it through any of the mesh. And then just kind of wrap it a couple of times around that frame. And again, this is just to keep it in place. And just kind of bend it down there. And then see, boom. Here we go. Now what I'm going to do is adjust the camera angle because I'm going to put him on my wreath easel. Okay. Get that over there. Okay, now I'm going to move the camera, so hold on, guys. You're going to get motion sickness. Hang in there. Hang in there. And I'm going to tilt you up. Tilt you up. All right, there we go. All right, you guys got a good view of his hiney? He's cute. Okay, so here we go. So, I know I'm going to want to put a sign up here. So I'm going to put that in now. And then I put the ribbons kind of around it. This is kind of the opposite of how I do other wreaths. But, hold on a second. Let me put that down for a second and put it on that way because this thing was flying all over the place. I don't want it to come flying down and hit me in the face. It might be an improvement, but no. Alright. I'm just using the pipe cleaner, just kind of winding it through there. Make sure this little dude gets attached. I don't like, hold on, that's a little too, I don't want it right on top of his butt. Here we go. There. I can always tighten this. I really just want to secure the first one so that I can kind of work on the second one without this sliding around too much. I don't want to bury it in here. But I want to have it level. I don't want to have it angled. I want to keep them level. So here, I know you guys can't see what I'm doing. Here, maybe you guys can see a little better now. I'm trying to get this little dude guy through here. And I might not like the placement, so I might end up playing with it. So. Oh, you know what? That actually looks okay. All right. Here we go. And I literally am just twisting the pipe cleaner and then taking the end and kind of just pushing it back into the wreath. So you can see it's just kind of, it's on there, and I just kind of push it right back in there. I'm trying not to have too much that could scratch a door. All right, I'm gonna put you guys back up now. He's going back on this. This is where we're gonna put all the goodies in our guy here. Here's the hiney. All right, wee. Angle better. Move you guys better angle. There. That's as far back as I can move you guys because there's a bookshelf right there. So hopefully, if I go back a little bit, there we go. I will have to move you guys again once I go to make the bow. So now I'm just going to do a little cleanup. Now, hey, I can get my face in. Hi, how you guys doing? That was me and my double chins. All right, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to do the bow. Y'all, you're gonna hate me. I'm pushing it down again. Pushing it down again. Because I think everybody likes to see how to make the bow. Right? So make sure you got a good angle here. Alright? This is the Easy Bows Design Pro. This is my favorite wreath making tool. I had the other Easy Bows and I liked it, but this one has plastic prongs that don't pop out. And it lets me go wider because I do make some bigger bows. There is a link to this in my profile. So if you guys want to go there and take a look at their products, it's fantastic. I cannot make a bow by hand. My hands just don't work. I mean, they work, but not well. So, okay, I'm going to let you guys vote. Which 4-inch ribbon do you want? Do you want the kind with the red plush, which is kind of how I'm leaning, or the black and white? And this is kind of busy, and this is kind of busy, so I'm worried about them clashing with each other, with the different mesh. And now you guys can't see. Let me bring them in. But I don't know. Which one do you think? The red velvet or the black and white stripe? The red. First one, red plush. Okay, boom. Decision made. I like you guys. Thank you. All right. So how I'm going to do this is I want to put a bow up on the basically kind of the top left opposite of that Grinch free zone sign. I'm also going to put a smaller one down here at the bottom of his feet. So we're going to make the big one first. So here we go. That one is probably going to be maybe 7 inches wide on either side. So I'm dovetailing it. So dovetail, basically you take your ribbon and you fold it in half so that your wired edges are together. And then you cut angled from the inside. You cut angled outward toward the wires. And you have a nice dovetail. And what this does is keep it from fraying. The only thing I don't like about some ribbons is like sometimes you can see like there's a little gap there. But this is sewn on there pretty close. So I think I don't have to worry about it with this. And I want to see how long my bottom tail is going to be about 14 inches. So I'm going to put that in here. Okay. So now I've got pretty tail, but then we have the nice pretty side on the left. Well, then if I bring my ribbon over, we're going to see the icky side. So what we need to do is the bend and snap. It's the pinch and twist. So basically, this is thicker. Otherwise, I could twist it in there, but this is a thick honking ribbon. But you twist it so that you're looking at the pretty side on the right and the icky side on the left. That way, when you bring your ribbon over and you bring it down here, about 7 inches, then you see the pretty side, right? And then we're going to do something else in a second. So then I'm going to bring, so that was going to kind of go down the center. And then we're going to bring this one 7 inches Now, instead of the tail going down, I'm going to come up with this tail. It's not going to be nearly as long. I'm going to cut it off at about 9 inches and dovetail it. Because then this tail top is going to go upward. Because I don't want to have a lot of bows coming down by the butt. I want it to kind of come down streamlined. Now here's the tricky thing. This is directional ribbon. So you can see how his legs are facing down. But here he's upside down. Uh-oh. It's an easy fix, and I didn't realize this until many years after starting to make wreaths. All I got to do is pinch that bow and twist it. Now this is kind of difficult to do with this ribbon because this is already so thick. This velvet is so thick. But I'll do my best to pinch and twist. And now you can see that his legs are the right side. There we go. Nobody's upside down. Nice and fixed. So there we go. That was that. The next one I'm going to do is the You're a Mean One ribbon. Oops. I'm going to get my 4-inch off. Put my pin back in it. I don't want to lose my pins. All right. Now, yes, Wanda, this one is a 4-inch ribbon, and this I believe I got from TMI Gifts. So this was the 4-inch from TMI. Now we're going to put some 2.5 inch. So this one is a 2.5 inch. It says You're a Mean One. I feel like my daughter designed that ribbon for me. All right, I like to dovetail the end. Most people don't dovetail until they're all done. I'm just weird. Now this one, I'm gonna figure if that was 12 inch, this one is gonna come up just a little bit above that. So I'll say this is probably maybe like a 12-inch tail on this one. And I'm gonna go the other way. So now, actually no, I gotta go that way, hold on. There we go. Oh no, coughing fit. Ugh. Justin! Justin, hello, how are ya? You guys gotta follow Justin. He is so funny. He is so funny. And beautiful wreaths too. Okay, so this loop is gonna come out. This one was 7 inches. This one, we're gonna make 6 inches, okay? And then we're gonna do the pinch and twist on the left-hand side here. And then we're going to come back over and do the pinch and twist. And this one's going to be 6 inches. And we're going to have this one come up. I'm going to cut this a little bit off there. That way it gives me room to dovetail. So dovetailed, it sticks out about, I'd say about 1.5 inches past the other one. All right, now this word is upside down, so I want to pinch and twist this one as well. So we're going to go, I think it wants to go the other way. It wants to go this way. Here we go. I don't usually like ribbon with words on it, but for this one I made an exception. Here we go. All right. Now I got the green. And we are going to use these ribbons throughout the rest of the wreath too, not just for right now. So they're not going far. They're not going far. Okay, and now I have my Grinch ribbon. All right, let me dovetail this. Boom. All right. Now he's going to come. Oh, he's opposite direction. Now that confuses me. All right, so here's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to start and go backwards on this, which I can do. I'm just going to start with that. See, that's got a tail there, and it's got a tail here. I think that tail comes out and hits 7 inches. So this loop is probably going to be about 5.5 inches. So I'm just going to go the opposite way. So this will be 5.5-ish. Doesn't really necessarily matter exactly how wide as long as they're even on both sides. Here we go. Would it interest you guys to know that I was scared of the Grinch as a child and as an adult? I don't know why it freaked me out. especially the Jim Carrey version. I don't know. It just freaked me out. It's like the way his mouth moved with the makeup on. I don't know. I'm also afraid of Beetlejuice. So, you know. Apparently I'm a real grown-up. Here we go. Oh, good, Justin. I am glad you are doing well. Every time I see Dolly Parton, I think of you. Because of the videos you've done. I don't know. The blonde wig and, I don't know, just awesome. You make me smile. Every time I see you got a video, it just makes my day. All right, I got to pinch this loop because his legs are upside down. Here we go. All right, cool. So now, oh, hold on. I had a 1.5 inch ribbon. Hold on. I lost my ribbon. Where's my 1.5 inch? Linda Marie, what did you do? Ugh. All right. Oh, here it is. It fell off the table and rolled all the way into the dining room about 6 feet away. Yeah. Great. Okay. I do have a solid green for the center, but I think that's a lot of green. I was going to try to play up, do a little bit of red and white stripe. I think this is a little less harsh. There's already a lot of green in there, so I'm going to do this. So and this one, instead of dovetailing it, I'm going to cut this one on an angle. I just like that better sometimes on a 1.5 inch. All right, so we're going to put that down in there. So then this guy doesn't have to come out too far. So he's going to come out. What are we talking? Talking about like 4.5. Maybe a little closer to a 5. 4 3/4, we'll call it. 4 3/4. Here we go. Just as long as they're equal. All right. And I'm going to cut this guy off. Right there. Oops, that's not even. There we go. All right. So now, let me get my shoulder out of the way. Push this out of the way. So now we have this whole big giant bow, right? And you're like, what the heck? How am I going to get that out of there? So, I've got a zip tie. And I'm going to take 2 pipe cleaners from behind me. Come on. Come on. Where's the second one? Sometimes they have really super long pipe cleaners. I don't use them often enough to make it worthwhile, so I just take 2 pipe cleaners and I just twist them together. I don't use Dollar Tree pipe cleaners because they don't hold up well, but these are from Hobby Lobby. I find has the best deal on pipe cleaners. You get a whole ton for like $3.99, whereas if you go to Michael's, they're like $7.99 or something crazy. All right, so I'm going to try to pick this whole thing up like a giant honkin' sandwich, right? Like a BLT, and you don't want any of the pieces flying out. So I'm going to stick my hand, I'm going to scooch it up a little bit, get my hand underneath the bottom, get a good grip, and start sliding that up, and I'm pinching down as I slide it up, so I'm trying to squish my sandwich together. You see how it's sandwiched? There we go. I'm going to put the pipe cleaner just underneath my index finger. I'm going to feed it through my fingers, and then I'm going to slide it right underneath my thumb. I've only lost a few bows. Like, you know, when all of a sudden, like, you drop it and it flies out. Using this method has worked pretty well for me. And then I want where I'm going to cut off the back, I want that to be on the bottom of the bow in the back so nobody gets hurt. The tighter you squeeze your bow, the more your bows pop. So I'm going to snip, snip. Oh, there it goes. All right. Oh, I lost myself again. Here we go. Sorry. All right. So now I'm going to flip it around. Kind of center it a little bit if I can. All right. I'm just going to twist that so it doesn't go sliding around. So here's the bow. Well, let's fluff her up, right? All right. This is where you can really start moving your loops. And you can feel free to tug it and run your finger all the way down the ribbon. That way it gets your wires to curl and it makes for a much curlier, happier looking ribbon. All right. You don't want anything to kind of overshadow. You want each one to kind of have its little time to shine. So you don't want it to be behind, directly behind anything else. Okay. All right, so that was the bottom one, or the top one. Let's put that on, because I think you guys probably want to see what that looks like before I make the next one. So I'm going to move you up. All right, hopefully you guys can see. I'm going to be working up here on the top. So I can get you guys back a little further. Hopefully you guys can see. I'm going to put this right over here. And then we're going to do another one kind of like down over here in a little bit. But it's not going to be this big. So I'm going to feed this through. I want to make sure I get it underneath the bottom ring and then over the top ring. So I want it to straddle both rings. Give me the Lord of the Rings. Now I have an open back wreath easel, so I can put my hand behind there. That's why I like the open back ones. And I can really kind of control and make sure that I like the placement of where it's going before I put it on here. So you see now why I didn't want too many tails coming down. It would have been a lot, and I don't want to compete with his butt because it's so cute. All right. It's kind of coming up a little bit. All right, let me go tighten this. Just got to take my pipe cleaner behind here and get a little twist and tighten here. Tighten it a little bit more. Sometimes when I'm done, I'll go back and I will undo the bow and I will twist it again, because sometimes it kind of, everything else around it squishes down a little bit. So it's kind of like a final fine tuning of how tight it is. So I'm going to just leave that open in the back. I'm not going to wrap it around anything right now. And then we've got okay, I'll take you up and see if I can get you guys to see a little better. See, that's kind of where we've got him on the butt. Angle it a little better. You can see his hiney. All right, and then there's the Grinch. Now we're going to try to go put something down here. And it's going to be a slightly different kind of bow. I'm still going to use the same 4-inch. So I'll angle you guys down again so you can see the ribbon making again. Okay. This one's going to be more where the tails are going to come down. It's more your traditional style bow. But it's not going to be as long. So I think we're going to have the tails at like 10 inches. Here we go. Ooh, boy, that's a thick bugger. Thick bugger, aren't you? All right. It's a good ribbon. This is going to keep its shape for sure. I'm going to put this at, I'm probably going to go like 6.5. Well, maybe I'll go closer to 7. I'm going to go closer to 7 again on the width, because I want him to come out, kind of fill in this whole space by his upper foot. All right, go 7-inch. And then I'm going to cut it off so that it's dovetailed at 10 inches. And this is why I don't put all the tails on until after I do the bow, is because otherwise we could have been covering up a lot of ribbon and it would be wasted product, which took me a couple years to realize that. I'm going to take I gotta take my upside down legs here and flip them back over. Here we go. Dude guy on the left side again, acting wonky. There we go. Okay, here we go. So now you can see that this is more of the traditional bow where both the tails are coming down. And we're going to go back and layer using the same. Mariah, message me after this, but technically for legal purposes, I cannot sell this. This is for personal use only, as it is not licensed to me. I would have to get a license. But message me, and we can talk about other ways. Perhaps I can help you make one or other things. But yeah, message me, girl. All right. Let me see. I do sell and ship bows. Yes, I am your girl for bows. Definitely. Kelly, go to sweetariadecor.com. You can message me through my Etsy site. I love making bows. I make tons of bows. My house looks like a Hobby Lobby. I pretty much have every kind of ribbon you can possibly imagine, because I have an addiction. And the first step is admitting I have a problem. It's not an addiction. It is a carefully curated collection. It's an addiction. That's okay. Some people drink, some people do drugs. I do neither. Well, never mind. But I just have a ribbon addiction. It's my happiness. It is my therapy. But a therapist would be a lot freaking cheaper. That's okay though. But I love making bows. I make them for all kinds of different styles too. Not just like the kind from before, but I made all the bows. When my daughter got married, I did all of her florals and all of her bows. So that is definitely something I can do. And I can do very quick turnaround on those as well. All right. So here we go. I flipped my ribbon over so that the words were going the correct way. All right. Now we're going to put Mr. Grinchy butt on there again. Here's his legs. I'm going to start him from this side because remember he was kind of the upside down spool. So I'm going to start him from over here. And then the loop before this measured out at 6.5. So this one's going to measure at 6. Now it might look like they're wide, but once we pull it in and tighten it, it's going to suck in some of the length on the loops. So that's why you want to leave it longer. When I first started making bows, I did not leave my loops big enough, and it ended up making everything look like it was choking, like just too tight. Didn't have enough room to breathe. So now I have my loops bigger, and I think it looks better, it works better, because I forgot to accommodate for how much it's gonna literally get sucked in. It gets sucked into the wreath, like into the depth of it. Well, now I want to go watch this movie and see if I can get through it without screaming like a child. Yes. All right. And we're gonna finish up with this cute little 1.5 inch. There we go that way. I just like to have a nice pretty bow on the bottom as well, you know. Now this though, I think I'm going to do something different with this one. Okay, I'm going to do something a little extra, because you know, I'm so extra, according to my kid. Alright, so for right now, we've got that. Let me get my pipe cleaners again. Again, I'm going to double them up so I can make some long ones. I'm going to double this up to make a really long pipe cleaner. I don't want to have to struggle to try to find the ends, so I might end up snipping a lot of this off, but it's just so I don't get so freaking frustrated when I'm trying to get the bow through the wreath. Because believe me, it can get really frustrating. Like, I know it's supposed to go and it's not going. And a nice long pipe cleaner again, or a zip tie. I was using zip ties that were too short because I'm like, I don't want to waste it. But then I was struggling trying to get the ends to meet, and then I would drop it and then the bow would come apart. All right, I got my sandwich here. Underneath, bring it up, come on through. Okay, so I kind of like slide the zip tie to the back and make sure everything looks good before I give it that final really tight yank. So let's make our bow here. Here, I'm gonna move that all to the side. Let's focus just on the bow. All right. Okay. All right, cool. Now I'm going to give it its yank. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of this because I don't want to see this, right? And even though, yeah, we can kind of pinch it together, I don't know if we're going to see it or not, but I'm going to do something cute. Or basically I'm just going to cut a length. I just kind of took that and folded it in half. And I'm just going to tie it in the back. And you're never going to see it anyway, and I'll chop off the ends. But it just makes it look kind of finished if I'm not going to put anything. Sometimes if I have like an ornament ball, a little ornament ball or something, I'll stick it in the center and I call it giving it a little sweet center. But I don't want to do that with this one. I think that looks cool just the way it is. So now I'm going to twist my pipe cleaner so it doesn't slide. Not that it could, because it's on there tight. And let's lift you up so you can see where I'm going to put this on Mr. Grinch. All right, I'm going to go put that pretty much kind of like right here. So his foot's kind of touching the outside bow. And again, I want to make sure I go through both rings. But if you guys have never tried to make a wreath before, I recommend it. It's really fun. Okay, it can be relaxing. It can also be frustrating. But it can be really fun because then when you get to see, hey, I made this, it's got meaning for you. But then also you could get frustrated and be like, yeah, screw this, I'm done. And then you can go to someone like me at Sweet Ari Decor and I can make you a wreath. I do custom work as well. Okay. I'm not liking where that's at. I want to come over a little bit more. That was a little bit too far down. I'm going to come up a little bit. Sorry. You know, you're like, I can't see. Don't feel bad. I can't see either. I'm trying to do this basically just by feel. But I don't want to get that in there. I'm trying to get it between the ruffles. Maybe that'll work. That's almost too sideways. I think you know what? I know. Sorry. You're like, you're driving us nuts, lady. I'm like, I know. I just want to make sure that I've got it positioned where I like it. That was too sideways. You see how it was going on too much of an angle? What I can do is kind of push his feet a little bit off to the side. There. All right. I like this. All right, I'm twisting it around. I'm not going to push that in the wreath yet because I might end up moving it. All right, so let's see. Let's see if we like this. Here we go. Oh, well, that's the wrong way. That doesn't work. Okay, so we've got our 4-inch and then our green layer and then our leg layer and then our there we go. And this one I kind of might go on an angle like that just to kind of fill in some of that, but so there's that. And then you can see down at the bottom that these ribbons are curling under and they're kind of following the natural curve and shape of the wreath on the bottom. Now that we've got that, it's time to put in some more ribbons. So what I'm going to do is, again, back you up, guys. Sorry. I'm trying to give you guys as much viewing as I can of the wreath. So here we go. So right over here, I'm going to add what I call a roller coaster. So I'm going to put a tail, and it's going to loop over the sign, and then put the other tail down there. So it kind of highlights the sign a bit. Now I'm going to do this with a 2.5 inch ribbon. I'm not going to do it with the 4, but I like to layer. So I'm going to have Grinch on the bottom, and it's going to have You're a Mean One on the top. So what I'm going to do is hold these together and dovetail an end. And I probably want a tail that's about, I'd say this is about 7 inches, because don't forget it's going to dig down into the mesh, right? So I'm going to bring it up. You guys can't see that. I gotta get you guys higher up somehow. Going back further. There. Better. Okay, stay. And I'm going to put this in there because the words have to go across this way. So it's going to kind of go like this. So I'm going to put this. I'm going to open up a set of tines. It does not have to be tines where the mesh already is, but it does help to use those because you know where stuff is already at. So let me see. All right, I've opened up a set. I've pushed the ribbon in, and I'm re-tightening those tines. And then I'm gonna separate those out. Now, I'm gonna have these, ooh, fuzz, on top of each other, kind of coming over. And it's gonna kind of come over to here. So I'm gonna open up the tines for where I think I wanted it here. And I'm gonna shove it in. Now notice I haven't cut it yet. I'm not cutting it yet because I can play with the length. I can pull it, make it tighter, shorter, whatnot, before I commit to a length on this other set of tails. And I'm going to pull out, I'm going to separate them out so that the Grinch kind of comes out behind a little bit. The green one, I'm going to pull just the green one to separate it out a little bit from Grinch. All right, and then this right down here. Eek. There we go. I'm going to cut it probably right there. And now I separate these out again. All right, so that's what it, when they say roller coaster it, that's kind of what it means. And you can do like a double roller coaster too. This is, I know this is kind of a large loop above it. But I want to be able to make sure you can actually see it. I'm going to try to push it back a little bit, because I want some of these ribbons to be visible from the side too. Not everybody looks at your wreath from head on. They look at it from the side as well. So I don't want it to be everything up at the top of the wreath and nothing in these back layers. All right. This one, unfortunately, is not going to be listed for sale on Etsy because of trademark issues. I cannot purchase this ribbon and then resell it in something else. I can only purchase a licensed item for my use only. But you can try to make one yourself using ribbon and items that you can get from TMI Gifts, White Bayou Wreaths, and craftoutlet.com also carry this. I use 2 rolls of 10-inch mesh. There's 2 rolls of 10-inch mesh, and I use the whole thing. I cut it to 20-inch lengths. All right, now let's see where else we want to put some of this ribbon in here. I do want to put a little bit more, well, I was debating whether or not putting a little bit more 4-inch ribbon but I think that would make it just a little too. I think we've got enough 4-inch ribbon in here. I think we're good. I would love to be able to sell these online. I really would. I would clean up. And there are people who sell these on Etsy, but they could get their shop shut down and their business completely gone because they have sold something that is. I bought the Grinch legs. I got these from TMI Gifts. Now I don't know if they still have these again. You can also check with White Bayou Wreaths and craftoutlet.com. Those 3 stores. Those are where. I think I got this from TMI Gifts, but it was last year, I believe. But yeah, I just don't want to get my shop shut down. I've had it for a while, and it is my main source of income. So I don't want to mess that up. All right, I'm going to see now. I'm not necessarily going to measure out and pre-cut any of these ribbon tails. I want to see how long I feel they need to be, because of the extra depth here. So I'm going to kind of just, I'm going to wrap it in there, and then I'm going to kind of measure it and see where I need to cut it off. All right. Because I mean, this could end up, this might be like 18 inches, I don't know. Let's see. I'm going to take it out and see how long that was. These tails are, yeah, these are 17. So if you cut them at 18 and then dovetail it, that's what this would be. All right. And the other thing I like about the evergreen stuff is like I can push the tines to the back, so like you pretty much won't even see it. And I could put some red glitter ornaments in here, which I think I might do. Ooh, I see some over there. I might grab some of those in a little bit, but I want to put some more ribbon tails in here first. So, put another set. I do have a ribbon tail board that I usually use, but it only goes up to 14 inches, and this is a little bit longer. So, here we go. It would help to make sure I have the writing on the right side. And I'm going to alternate between having the green in front and having the white in front. Let me see. And no, don't forget, there's like 2 layers in here. There's like the inner circle and the outer circle. So I like to stagger my ribbon tails, and some on the inside, some on the outside. That way, if it looks too uniform, it looks kind of weird. This looks more natural when you stagger it. Okay, because I want to make sure I don't forget to put ones by the bow down here as well. All right, just going to go through and add in some more. Let's get going, because I'm hungry and I want to eat some dinner. Here we go. I had tomato soup for lunch. Or I should say, I had a bowl of crackers with a little bit of tomato soup in it. Does anybody else eat their soup that way? I've done that since childhood. I don't know why. It's not good for my low-carb diet. Rosemary, no, I'm not. I wish I could sell it. This is going to be a gift for someone because it is a trademarked item. Therefore, cannot sell. But I showed you guys how to make one. And you can do it. You can totally do it. There's lots of tutorials. I have tutorials on how to make big fluffy wreaths like this on YouTube. I probably will download this recording and put this one on YouTube as well, just so it's there and you guys can kind of follow along if you ever want to make your own. That's a little too long on that side. I think I am probably going to put some red glitter balls. I think it would pick up the red glitter of the writing. I did have some that were kind of like lime, but they're in the garage. These coming up here. All right. I need some stuff like right in here. So I think this is, let me see if I'm my next spot. I think maybe like right in here is my next spot. Now this is not between mesh tines, but I'm gonna have to make it work. But that's why I was glad I didn't pre-cut any tails, because it all depends what you've got around it. This is not like a normal going around using a regular metal work form. So here we go. Let's not cut the fingers. Man, message me and we can talk. Go to sweetariadecor.com, and that's, or actually, you know what, you can just message me through TikTok here. We'll talk. We'll find a way we can get you or help you make a wreath. Oh, here we go. Going in there. Here we go. Getting his legs. That's going to be a great spot to put a red glitter ornament. Okay, I've got these. Got those up there. I think I feel good on the ribbon. I don't want to do too much on the ribbon, but I do feel like I need a little something up here. This is kind of, let me poke that down or around or something. I don't want to see that, but well, maybe if I pull the bow over. I think I'll pull the bow over a little bit more. There we go. See, this is why I was glad I didn't tighten it all the way, guys. Yep. Now I can go back and fix that. So I scooched the bow a little bit closer to his legs, to his butt. We scooched his hiney. We scooched the hiney. Okay. All right. There. I like that much better. I like the bows over there. That is looking good. Okay. I'm going to cut in front of you. Hello. I'm going to get my glitter balls. Oh, I hope the rest don't fall on my head. Please don't fall on me, glitter balls. All right. So these are a bit slightly larger than I use for my tomato cage trees. These are these 16-piece Holiday Traditions at-home ornaments. It's only $3.99 for 16 of these. I love these ornaments. This was from last year. I think they still have them this year. I don't know if the price is the same. But the stand I got from this was from Etsy. Now the person I got it from doesn't make it anymore, but if you look for open back wreath stand or open back wreath easel or just wreath easel, you'll be able to find lots of people who make these. Okay. All right, I've glued, and I'm literally just gonna stick it in here. And I like it because some of the glue is adhering to the actual evergreen stuff. It's not just on the ribbon. Let me see where else. I think I wanted one down by his foot. He's fun. This puts me in a good mood. I love making Christmas stuff. This is my happy place, my happy time of year. All right, shoving it in here. Ooh, there you go. Ooh, it's on my finger. Ooh, ooh, that's hot. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ouch. Yeah. That's gonna leave a mark. Alrighty. One on the other outside. You kind of see I'm putting it right here. I don't know if you guys can see. I'm trying to let you guys see the best I can. The Grinch bottom, I believe I got that from TMI Gifts. Now, I don't know if they have the exact same one, but I would go check there. I also have seen them before at Craft Outlet. And Now, White Bayou Wreaths also had them as well. I don't know if they had this, but I know they had heads. They had Grinch heads. There we go. And actually, you know what? Hold on. Let me show you what their heads look like. Because you can get these too. Instead of getting just the legs, you can also get a head on a stick. So there's the Grinch head. This one came from White Bayou Wreaths, and I believe they just restocked. So I would check there. See, now he doesn't scare me. Jim Carrey as the Grinch scares me. I don't know why. All right, let me see where else. I think I'm going to put a red ornament right up on the top, and then I think that's going to be it. I think that would be enough. Alrighty, let me see. Lots of glue. I use Gorilla Hot Glue. I think it is the best one because it's not too temperature sensitive. All right, I'm gonna put that right in here. So it's kind of by the ribbons, but also kind of not. All right, let me clean this up, and I'll show you guys. I'll take you off the stand, and I will give you guys a much better view at this dude. Alrighty, I'm taking you off the stand. Hold on. Bear with me. Okay, bringing you through the light. Here we go. Alright, so this is how he turned out. Let me show you from the side. Kind of see the side of that's how thick he is. So he's from like the end of his foot to the wreath is probably about 14 inches. So definitely you have to have the width to accommodate this guy. But then you've got the ribbon on the bottom. You've got his feet. You come up here, it's got the Grinch Free Zone sign. And then you got this big bow on the side. And then you got him over here. So that is our Grinch guy. I really appreciate you guys hanging in there with me on this. I appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, message me here on TikTok. You can follow me on Facebook, Book of the Face, as well. And again, my website is sweetariadecor.com. That takes you to my Etsy, and I can also do custom orders and lots of bows. Thanks for joining me, and Merry Christmas. Bye.
Thanks for watching. You can follow me on Facebook and TikTok, and you can also see all of my available creations at sweetariadecor.com.